Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to another Pallavi Market Research video. Today we're going to be discussing the fact that you do not know what democracy is. And in order to understand what democracy is and what it was originally intended to be, we have to go back to ancient Athens, when democracy was being created, okay? Because at the end of the day, you do not live in a democracy, at least not a pure one. I think the most accurate description of what we live in is a market-driven democratic republic. I know that's a little bit lame, and only a nerdy political science economics guy like me could come up with something so annoying to say. So, at this time in Athens, right? Because we have to go back to Athens, where democracy was being created, okay? So at this time, there were two main groups, the aristocrats and the democrats. And you can think of the aristocrats as the elites and the Democrats as the progressives. The aristocrats were against democracy and the Democrats were, of course, advocating for it. But the elites back then, including Aristotle actually, believed that democracy was a system where the poor govern, because by definition, the poor are the majority. So what will surprise you is that there was a great debate as to how Athens would most democratically elect or select politicians to represent its people. So the methodology of how do you pick these representatives, right? So back then, the Democrats were against elections. Let me say that again. The founders of democracy did not believe in elections. They viewed elections as a tool of the oligarchy, as elections always favored the best speakers and masters of rhetoric, aka the most educated. Okay? And who are generally the most educated people? Especially back then, the rich, right? So Democrats at this time actually preferred a sort of lottery-based system called sortition. This is where jury selection comes from, for instance, okay? Because even back then, the Democrats understood that you could effectively buy votes via paid advertising and promotion, okay? And I don't know if a lot of you are not aware of this, but every single presidential campaign since modern campaign financing in America, right? Which I believe they start tracking that for Woodrow Wilson, so the 20s, right? Every single presidential election in America since Woodrow Wilson has been won by the candidate who simply spent more money on promotion, guys. Okay, every single one. And there's actually only one exception, and that's Donald Trump in 2016. So how should we view democracy? Well, the former finance minister of Greece, Yanis Varoufakis, is quoted calling the democratic process a fig leaf for oligarchical rule, specifically elections he's talking about here, okay? And oligarchical rule, if you are not already aware, it's ruled by the elites. And if you are not aware, the term fig leaf is often used metaphorically to describe something that is used to cover up or hide an embarrassing or unattractive reality. The expression originates from the biblical story of Adam and Eve, where they used fig leaves to cover themselves after realizing they were naked. In modern language, a fig leaf refers to any action or excuse that is meant to cover something that, if exposed, would be considered shameful or undesirable. And in all honesty, if you pay attention for long enough, you'll notice many elites and politicians today will casually communicate this idea that elections will not and do not influence economic policy. Hence, why the Federal Reserve consists of 0 elected officials. Now, is this lottery-based system a smarter alternative to elections? I don't really know. I believe a hybrid system could make a lot of sense, personally. I also kind of believe that we do not peer pressure the leaders in our society to serve our country like we used to, right? We have this very interesting culture right now. We have guys like Elon Musk who are correct that they are more useful to society if they stay in the private sector, right? But mostly we have that cultural idea, right? Like, oh, well, I'm doing more for the private sector than I would be able to do in public, right? And in a politician type of role, right? We have mostly people who are not like Elon Musk thinking that they are Elon Musk they would be taking away their ability to contribute, right? If they were they were a politician, senators, congressmen, right? Because we have a lot of people like this, so many. Like Joe Rogan actually is one of these. Tim Ferriss is definitely one of these. And honestly, in my opinion, Tim Ferriss, Joe Rogan, basically everyone except Elon Musk and a handful of others are completely delusional, and they're just coping with the fact that they're not willing to make the sacrifices for this country that we all need them to, right? And they're honestly they're a little bit of a bitch about it. So the key takeaway here is that if we were able to go back in time to ancient Athens and bring back one of these original thinkers of democracy to show them how we constructed ours, how ours currently operates, right? He would, in my opinion, just laugh in our faces, okay? He would just laugh at us. Now, that's today's video. As you can see, I'm in a new space, okay? This is a building called Innovation Studios. This is a hotel, the largest hotel in the town that I'm in. I'll probably tell you guys what town it is in, but I'm not gonna tell you right now. And I'm doing real estate development stuff, right? And I'm going to be actually living in this building and renovating this whole thing because we just got it approved for this apartment conversion, right? This is a giant hotel and I own it. So we're going to be documenting that journey like on my personal Instagram. And if you don't know where that is, you can go to the following section of Palaview, blah, blah, blah. You can find it. I'm sure you can find it if you're smart. I'm not going to plug myself because this is Palaview shit. But I just wanted to give you context as to where I've been. I've been busy getting this whole thing set up because I just moved up here to Connecticut from Puerto Rico, and I'm going to be living here basically out of this building for the next, I don't know, 6 months making these videos. So I'm happy to get back to this and just grind for you guys. All right, and sorry about the overly edited bullshit. Let's just fuck that shit off, right? All right, see you guys.